Hello, playing SWGEmu again. What I'm doing now is I'm just going to finish off the Master Brawler template. I'm already a Master Swordsman. The last two boxes of Marksman, the pole arms box and the unarmed box, have been taking quite a while. They are, for any newer players, the upper echelons, as in the last couple of boxes of Marksman or Brawler, are by far the worst grind, combat grind in the game, I found, personally. Even worse than any of the elite professions. What I'm doing is killing these carrion spats with either my pole arm or my vibro knuckler. The reason why I'm choosing carrion spats is because currently they have the best avian meat. Well, it's the second best spawn ever, I believe, so I might as well kill two birds with one stone, or two carrion spats with one stone, and level up the last bit of brawler at the same time as gathering a little bit of meat. Now, they're not very tough, these mobs, so no problem grinding them really. I've got some decent armour, etc., and I can always get my hammer out if I'm in trouble. Just briefly jumped onto this character who is my merchant, my master merchant, and I'm just going to drop a vendor. So we've got this merchant tent, and if you click on the structure management terminal, you can somewhere, there you go, you can create a vendor. So I'm going to create a vendor. I'm going to make it an NPC because they're seen on the map. And we'll make him an odd one. Let's make him a quarren, I think. Just sort this out. Now, what shall I call the vendor? Decisions. The shoebox, I think. I'll make a decision on that. Yeah, so merchant tents, what you can do with merchant tents is you obviously need to be a merchant to drop one, but they're mainly like the shops of SWGEmu. So I've dropped one of these and I can put a vendor down, which I'm doing now. I'm going to place this NPC, and he'll potentially sell items to members of the public. They can search my items on the global bazaar, the global vendor, and hopefully we'll be able to sell some bits and pieces that we gain. So we'll initialize him, and I think we can do a few other things. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're going to enable some ad barking, pay a bit of maintenance. You need to pay maintenance for these vendors. I've just put 2,000 in for now. We'll register it on the global thing after. We'll just check that it's got some. There we go. It's got everything. There we go. Now, so we're putting a few bits and pieces on the vendor. They probably won't sell. Some nice shoes, green 4-socket dress slippers. I bought them for myself, but being a man, I can't wear them, which is a bit unfair, isn't it? I like those high heels on this Rhodian. Anyway, so we've put those few bits and pieces. We're just having a quick look at my merchant tent, and this is my house on the hill, La Maison Chou. Right, so back to the brawler, and we should have just about finished Terras Cassi there. So we've got a little bit of pole arms to do, and then we should be done. Now, we're almost done with the pole arms 4. If you look on the right there, there's a yellow bar, and the unarmed bar there is green, which means we've got all the unarmed XP that we need. Excuse me. And there we go. The pole arms tree has just gone green, which means we are done with Brawler. So I'll just finish off this lair, and I might as well use the power hammer now to give you an idea of how long it was taking me to kill them with unarmed. One swing of the hammer and they're all dead. So we'll harvest up the avian meat. Back into town, and this is the Marksman Trainer. That's no good. We want the Brawler Trainer. This is the chap in CNET here. So we shall learn these two skills, unarmed 4 and pole arms 4. There's unarmed 4, which costs 4,000 credits, and poles. Now I could get training off players for free possibly, but I've got the money, so I don't mind paying the trainers in the game. There we go. We are now a Master Brawler. So Master Brawler, Master Swordsman, with some medic. There you go, I have medic 2030, which means I can use reasonable stims, and I can cure bleeds. Now, I'll just have a quick look at this loot. A Tanlet armour chest plate. I don't know if anybody's seen one of these before, but it should be Tantal. But if you look closely, it actually is a Tanlet armour chest plate. It's not very good stats, but I just thought I'd show you that. It's quite interesting. So I'm in the Coronet Med Centre. This is where you get medical buffs. These basically make you pretty much indestructible. They buff all your statistics to very, very, very high levels. Just having a quick look at my weapons. That's my Ackley power hammer. It has got a power up on, and that's my scythe. Scythe's a really cool weapon. They look great. It's got a power up on. It's a gift to me from a good friend in the UK Guild Master. So thanks to Master for that, and thanks to Daisy for the sword and the hammer. Well, thanks to all the UK lads for gearing me back up straight away. So yeah, I'm just going to get these buffs off Nikki Sterling gear. I don't want to poke her with my scythe. Now most docks buff for about 7,000 to 10,000 credits, which is quite reasonable really. In fact, a lot of the doctors have incredible buffs that they're probably losing money on just to be able to say that they've got great buffs. So yeah, we'll get the buffs. If you look on the right there, there's a box that has currently got 4 icons in it, and there's the 5th one coming up. They're the buffs, 1 for each stat, 6 in total. So we've got 1 more statistic to come. There we go, that's the strength. So that's all of my primary buffs. Now we need to get some mind buffs as well, which is the blue bar at the bottom. Health, action and mind. Health red, action green, mind blue. So to get a mind buff, you need to go to the cantina and find a master entertainer or a master dancer and master musician. Now most of these have macros where they'll invite you to the group and then they'll just automatically buff in cycles, so you just have to watch and listen. So we've got an invite now to Desiree's group, so we'll listen to Desiree. Now she's probably halfway through a cycle, so we'll skip through, and there we go. We've got the dance buff now, which actually makes the mind bar larger. And then the regeneration for the mind bar, as in the secondary stats, you get through listening. So we'll listen to her. There we go. And we're fully buffed now. So we're going to go out to one of the adventure planets, Dathomir I think, and see what mobs we can find for loot. Hopefully find some Night Sisters or Singing Mountain clan. Not quite decided where yet, so I'll use the macro to buy a ticket. I do love this macro. Just make things quite easier, or much quicker should I say. I've gone to the science outposts, which isn't where I want to go, so I'm going to have to make a little shuttle hop to the other outpost on Dathomir. Anyway, we've made that shuttle jump, and I'm heading up to the Singing Mountain clan waypoint, which isn't far away from the northern starport on Dathomir. We'll pick up these couple of scouts on the way in and random mobs. They shouldn't pose too much trouble. We should be able to swing straight through them with the decent weaponry that we have. What I'm looking for up here is perhaps do some guardians and dragoons, which are sort of mid-end mobs. But really I'm looking for the Councilwomen, which are the high-end mob. This is an archwitch. They have 100% kinetic resist, so you'd struggle with these. In fact, you wouldn't be able to kill these with a TKM, but the power hammer smashes straight through defences, if you will. Now the problem with these high-end mobs is that they apply bleeds. If you look at my statistic there's a little red icon next to me, next to the X. It shows that I'm bleeding and my green bar is going down. Now currently, if you can see at the top, you can see that I'm applying first aid to myself. Without first aid, some of these mobs are very, very difficult to kill. Now it wasn't always the case originally. The bleeds do seem to be a little bit out of how they should be. Basically, they seem a little bit too powerful. Let me get some credits off that. Anyway, this is the one we're looking for. This is the Singing Mountain Clan Councilwoman, which is the toughest of the Singing Mountain Clan mobs. As you can see, I think it has 300,000 hit points per bar. So obviously I'm hitting it in the mind with the two-hand head hit 3, and basically I'm just going to keep her intimidated and keep spamming this whilst looking out for bleeds. Now I've kited her down here because she put a bleed on me, which I had to remove, and I got aggro from some others, so get myself a bit of space and kited her down here. Remove the bleeds, and we should be okay now. I see my mind's a little bit low, but let's just look that she's hit me there. That should regen. So we've got a bleed now, so I'm going to try and hit a war cry and peace out. And this is the way I found the most economical way of removing the bleeds is to peace out on her and war cry her so she's delayed, and then basically tend to the bleeding. So as you can see, its bleeding has decreased, and you just have to keep doing it until the bleeding stops, basically, or until the stacks. I mean, I'm only losing 300 at the moment, but there's little point healing it if you're just going to carry on bleeding. So what I need to do is get rid of the bleed before I start to heal myself. Now hopefully it should only be 1 or 2 more. They can stack these bleeds to an almost impossible level. Right, so we've cleared that bleed, and we're currently about, well, let's say a third through a mine bar. So this will take some time. This is quite time consuming. It is not something that just takes a couple of minutes. Probably takes about 10 to 15 minutes. There you see, we've got another bleed, and this slows the process down, the fact that you need to keep removing these bleeds and you can't just be putting damage on constantly. So again, bleeding has decreased, we keep applying the first aid, and she is war cried, so she's not hitting me. This is the sort of perfect scenario for dealing with the bleed. She won't attack me, and I get a chance to hopefully remove the bleed. I mean, you can seem to be doing it for a long time. Obviously, if they're attacking you, they can still be applying bleeds to you, so you can be in a vicious circle of trying to remove bleeds as they keep getting put on you. I think the key is to have some bleeding defense tapes and bioengineered clothing, which I'm going to look into, because my defenses seem okay. It doesn't seem as if the damage is a problem. It's just the bleeds. I'd forgot to put a mind bleed on her myself, but yeah, that's another thing you should do with the Swordsman, is make sure that her blue bar is bleeding as well. I've just had a couple more brandies just to help my regen. I don't really need brandies if I've got dancer mine buffs. And there we go, she's dead. So let's see what loot she's got. 2,209 credits and an E11 rifle. And look at that rifle, absolutely fucking terrible. So you're not guaranteed to get quality loot off them. Anyway, moved on to the next Councilwomen now. As you can see, she's already put a bit of a bleed on me, and we're just recovering from that. So we want to get a bleed on her and get back into putting some damage on her. We'll heal up this little bit of damage now we've removed the bleed. I'm using Stim C's, quite good ones. They heal for about 500 and something. So she's about to die now. Hopefully this one will have some decent loot. The Councilwomen, I mean, taking 10-15 minutes to kill and then not dropping any loot, it can be quite frustrating, but you do have a chance of looting some incredibly good items, so just have to be patient. As you can see with that one, 2,697 credits and no items at all. Anyway, thanks as always for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe if you like the content. See ya.